I'm going to get straight to the point with this. The truth is, an Airbnb business with no profit is not a business, but a hobby. Your ability to convert one property into a highly profitable and scalable business is the first step to becoming a true entrepreneur. After watching this video, you should take the necessary actions and avoid these pitfalls, and you will not have to worry about profits. My name is Prayas Chaudhary. I'm an Airbnb entrepreneur, trainer, and consultant. I'm recognized as one of the most experienced hosts in the STR industry. I started with one property in 2016, and in a short span, I grew to manage over 250 properties worldwide without any investment. I'm an official trainer and consultant for Airbnb and have trained over 10,000 hosts over the last few years for them. When it comes to making a property work, I have repeatedly spent thousands of hours listening to the same problems from people like you. There is a constant pattern as to why you do not have a successful Airbnb business right now. That being said, let's get straight into why an Airbnb business struggles. Reason number one, you've hired an Airbnb property management company. The truth is, the only party that benefits from this arrangement is the management company. If you have hired an agency, you know what I'm talking about. If you haven't hired one, trust me, do not hire one. They take 15 to 30% of the revenue, not profits. They promise better marketing and advertisement. They offer improved service and response time. They promise unmatched occupancy levels. They promise premium prices. They say they do tenant screening. They promise your property will be well maintained. But the truth is, none of this will happen. Once you pass the keys over to them, they are least interested in listening to you. They will fail to meet the promised targets right out of the gate from the very first month. They will tell you this needs to be done at the beginning to gain quick reviews. But sadly, this wheel of failure phase will never end while they continue to charge their commission in full. The only person who really cares about your property is you. Their cleaners will keep missing things. Guest complaints will keep piling up. And when you question, the agency will tell you this is normal in this industry. It is challenging to meet everyone's expectations, and instead, your expectations are unrealistic. The truth is, travelers on Airbnb inherently expect to engage the host in a conversation, but the agency personnel interacting with the guest would likely have never seen the property. They will just be following a standard script given to them, and by now, you can imagine the kind of guest experience your business will be offering to its customers. Maintenance issues will be identified only when a guest starts complaining. The agency will pay no proactive attention to them. Minor damages will be left unattended. The agency will not claim them from the guest or even inform you. Their contract clearly and fully absolves them from all responsibilities towards your property. In the end, you will be left with a hefty repair bill. In the sales pitch, all agencies say, we make money when you make money, but the truth is, they make money even when you don't. Your property means more to you than the management company. You, as a property owner, without a doubt, care more about improving your rental property than any property manager ever would. They have no skin involved in the game. It is your property, your risk. The agency is always safe and profitable. Reason number two, the advice you've received is wrong. Internet can be an enormous source of finding information, advice, and tips for running an Airbnb business, yet it can be as dangerous as a minefield when you don't know how to separate wheat from the chaff. The truth is, internet is the Wild West. The internet is awash with far more unreliable resources than you would ever imagine. Be on the lookout for the fortune tellers claiming to be able to produce fat profits with lots of dubious free Airbnb advice. Internet forums are a great place to meet people, exchange ideas, but they are a perfect example of a blind leading a blind. In my early days of hosting, I used to scroll through posts by people who I believe were prophets of the Airbnb business, yet hadn't done a single thing to prove it. You should know your source. Everyone can be an expert on internet. People are oftentimes simply not honest about their lack of experience or knowledge. In fairness, this is not an intentional deception, but folks simply not realizing their limitations. We all go through these phases where first we know nothing, then we know everything, and then we realize we don't know very much. If someone is an excellent writer, he may confound you with his knowledge while taking you down a wrong and possibly dangerous path of bullshit baffling brains. Consider the hidden cost of free. Always ask yourself one question when reading a free article online. Why did the website spend time and money to research and write an essay about that specific topic? The truth is, most of the articles written on internet are designed to make you purchase a product in the end. As a result, it may shy away from valid criticism of various products, services, and firms. So what you may consider being free content may actually have a hefty cost to you if it offers faulty advice that causes you to make expensive mistakes in the future. Beware of the links to recommend products and service providers. Often these referring websites get paid an affiliate fee, sometimes accounting to 30, 40, or 50% of the product price. Now, how do you avoid this? I recommend looking for sites that have posted policies against receiving referral fee from products and services they recommend. The truth is, social media and online discussion forums have given a voice to everyone without necessarily holding them accountable for what they say. Reason number 3, you are trying to get bookings on multiple websites. The biggest mistake you can make is to list your property on multiple platforms. We publish your listing on top 50 platforms, vacation rental management across hundreds of websites. Maximize your revenue. We create your listing on all leading 60 plus platforms. Have you seen these before? You're at least familiar with the marketing jargon. It has turned into a commonplace statement that to be a successful vacation rental host, you need to list on as many platforms as possible. The more the merrier. But I have an alternate perspective for you. Here is why. If at all possible, you do not want to list on multiple vacation rental platforms. You will end up distributing your reviews to too many platforms instead of focusing them on one. You will create mediocre listings on many platforms instead of one prized and highly optimized listing. Reviews are tremendously important to your search ranking. More reviews you have, the more bookings you will get. Plain and simple. When you list on multiple platforms, you are distributing your hard-earned reviews instead of focusing them on a few. While this may be a good short-term strategy, it is a bad long-term strategy. You may have started with an optimized listing on these 10 websites. Still, after a year, they are all now so poorly optimized because you have not kept them with the constant changes and updates these platforms make every month. The truth is, Airbnb generates 70 to 80% of booking revenue in most markets. A good host with an optimized listing can get this number up to 90% very easily. If you want that extra 10 to 20%, then I would suggest you ask yourself, is the additional 20% worth the extra 80% of your time? Reason number 4, your listing rarely appears in the search result. One of the primary reasons for a loss-making Airbnb is the lack of bookings. Your property is not visible to travelers. The number one influence in getting more bookings is simply getting found. They say the best place to hide a dead body is on the second page of Google. The same applies to Airbnb listings. Therefore, the secret to increasing your Airbnb occupancy is to get your listing on the first page. To understand how you can achieve this, you need to know how Airbnb determines these search results. Airbnb aims to show users the listings they are most likely to book, as that's how they make money. They promote hosts who take good care of their guests. Many hosts are unaware of the fact that for ease of display, Airbnb will list only 300 listings at a time per search. Airbnb uses a search algorithm that calculates unique ranking for each search performed on their platform. They take many factors into account. Some of these are based on the guest's personal preferences, others are based on your listing and your behavior as a host. And these factors are 100% within your control. There are over a million listings worldwide. You can't just plop your listing on there and hope something will happen. You can, however, be both strategic and creative and think like a business person when it comes to your listing. Although optimizing your listing for Airbnb SEO may take time, it is worth it. It is worth the effort. It doesn't matter how excellent your accommodation is if your listing doesn't appear in the search results. The list of Airbnb SEO principles can go on, but if you start by improving the basics, by responding to the guest queries, avoiding cancellations, getting great reviews, you can already give your listing a substantial boost. Reason number 5, you are stuck in day-to-day of your hosting business. Time is something you can never get back. Money comes, goes away every month, but time can only be spent. What is essential as a business owner is to understand how to let go of a bit of control by outsourcing or automating tasks that you don't need to be doing. The more you work in your business instead of on your business, the harder it will be to enjoy the fruits of its success. Your goal should be for your income stream to be not dependent on your time. Whether you're spending 10, 15, 20 or more hours on your short-term rental business, you are only making it less profitable depending on how much you value your time. Technology can do most of the repetitive tasks in this business for a fraction of the cost and with much greater accuracy. As a business owner, you should always be looking to automate tasks to focus your energy on business development and scaling. Your manual involvement slows down replies to responses and booking requests, which directly impacts your search ranking, occupancy rate, and overall revenue. You're wasting your precious time if you keep copying and pasting answers to the same question over and over across multiple listings. Airbnb automation is the process of streamlining daily and recurring tasks to increase efficiency and minimize costs. These include responding to guest messages, adjusting rental pricing, updating bookings, calendars, writing guest reviews, coordinating cleaning, and much more. There are ways to check your guest in without paying a property manager and without you needing to deliver the keys to them or them having to go elsewhere to pick them up. And it doesn't end there. You should be embracing smart home technology to improve day-to-day things, leading to lower utility bills and greater security and control. Smart locks, smart TV, and noise monitoring systems are much more affordable nowadays than they were a couple of years ago. All these things together will help you manage your property from anywhere, even when you're asleep, thus providing a much better guest experience, less possibility of errors, and more free time for you to spend with your loved ones. Reason number 6 is wrong pricing strategy. How much should you charge for your Airbnb? It's a question that could make or break your short-term rental business. The truth is, if you fail to get your pricing right, you will be forever frustrated and never make a profit. But if you manage to find the right price point, your property will sell itself. All you need is a killer Airbnb pricing strategy. No matter how you choose to price your Airbnb, you should always factor in your nightly costs. Otherwise, you will either be overcharging and you will lose bookings, or undercharging and you will only break even or maybe even lose money. Your nightly costs can include utilities, taxes, and even your mortgage. To calculate them, just add up your monthly expenses and divide them by 30. Remember, on Airbnb, it's pretty common to add a cleaning fee on top of the rates you set. So if you charge extra for cleaning, don't include it in your nightly costs. Once you have calculated how much you need to spend per day to maintain your Airbnb, you will know how much you need to charge to break even. And now it's time to decide how much you want to make on top of that. Your minimum nightly rate should always be higher than your nightly costs. It should compensate you for the time you spend managing your Airbnb and ideally earn you some profits as well. However, you can't just come up with an arbitrary number. It would be best if you did some research to ensure that your pricing is competitive. Otherwise, you could end up pricing it too high or too low and miss out on bookings. A simple way to do market research is by searching for properties in your area that offer the same value as your property does. Pretend that you're a guest and do a search on Airbnb. Apply the relevant filters to your property. This will help you find Airbnb rentals that have the same property type, number of beds and bedrooms, amenities, facilities, and location as yours. The average nightly rate of the properties your search will show is a good benchmark for competitively pricing your own Airbnb property. However, there are a few things to keep in mind. As you research, make sure you don't just look at prices for the following week. If you want an accurate picture of how other Airbnb hosts price their properties, look further into the future and select 2-3 months in advance. This way, you won't accidentally benchmark yourself against last-minute offers other people might be offering. If you want to be even more precise, don't forget to consider seasonality. Check the prices of Airbnb listings similar to yours in both low and high seasons. Take the average price per night in both periods and price your rental accordingly. A big thank you for taking the time to watch this video. If you want to take your hosting skills to the next level, please click on the first link in the description below for my no-nonsense Airbnb training program, where I will take you through the 4 steps of Airbnb business, starting with things you need to be aware of when planning and furnishing the property, your communication and pricing strategy, optimizing your listing, and or even setting up an Airbnb management company if you want. I will see you around.